Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Connected Live. I'm back in the living room by the great doors that go out into the yard because my husband's back to work. So in order to keep an eye on a puppy who will not behave himself in an office setting on the floor like I like to work, I'm using my kitchen table. So thanks again for joining me here. We're still having really cold weather. So I am, again, all bundled up from the gym. So I have my gym clothes on and I'm all bundled. All right, so for today's Connected Live, as most know, I've been a holistic healer now for about 20 years. And I have a platinum reputation. I work with both people and animals evenly. I understand behaviors, psychology, the individual. I have all these other skills. I'm psychic, I'm a medium. So many different skill sets that when I was in Hollywood, everyone wanted to put me in a box. They would say, "Oh, are you an animal communicator? Are you a healer? Or they didn't even know what a healer was. Sorry, now. Are you a medium? Are you clairsentient?" They threw all these words at me, and I'm like, "Well, actually, I can do all of it. It's just those are the skill sets of a healer." So what I wanted to share today, a lot of folks have been starting to follow my videos. I'm really grateful for that. So yesterday, I'll throw in a little animal communication. So part of the reason my animal communication is consistently effective in the healing sessions. Someone got his feelings hurt, but he's okay. I know that sounded big, but it was actually just the puppy getting disciplined, but he's all right. I just looked. People will say to me, "You're consistently effective. It's different from other animal communicators." And I said, well, it's because I add emotional literacy and communication skills and action steps as I would with a human, but with another species within the context of their species. And I call it ELA, emotional literacy for animals. Sorry that it sounds like Wild Kingdom. Hold on just a second. Guys. Tone it down a little bit. Thor, help the puppy, because you're going to listen to me more than he does. Okay. They're not going to listen right now. Talk about emotional literacy because they're having an argument. All right. So that's why my animal communication tends to be more effective than the average person's. So yesterday we had pretty much a whopping, we started at -13 and we ended up at 13 degrees by the afternoon. And with that said, I did feel like the boys could go out. I don't blanket my horses, they're Mustangs. And I tried blanketing once, and within 15 seconds, they destroyed an entire, $500 worth of blankets each. I don't have that kind of money to burn, so I did warn them. I said, "You guys ruin these, and that's it. There's no more extra." I'm not, I talk about it. They don't understand money, but they understand resources. So they butchered them, and I said, "Well, then that's it. No more blankets, because unfortunately you guys, destroyed these." So yesterday when I got out there, I think it was around 2 degrees, and I felt their ears in the barn, and their ears were warm. And I was consulting with William because Jack often will say, "Yeah, I'm game for anything," because he is. So again, you can't trust animals to always tell you the truth about everything. You have to, they're like people, they're learning their lessons. So William tends to be the more practical one. I mean, he can have his own attitude issues because he's a young man as well, but he's more practical. So I explained the conditions outside, that there was sun, but there was a little wind, and it was cold. And he looked me dead in the eye and said, "We both can handle it. We're okay." And I said, "All right." And he goes, "Well, will you bring us back in? Will we be brought in to sleep?" I said, "Yes, you'll be brought back into your stalls to sleep tonight. You've been in for 2 days. I'm uncomfortable with that for both of you because of your youth. I'm worried about not moving around and colic and all that stuff. Horses weren't meant to be in a box." I said, "So I've kept you in during the worst of it. But I wanted to check in about today." So then I called Amanda, who owns the barn, and I said, "I'm not putting any pressure. I checked in with the horses. I'm checking with myself, and I'm checking with you. How do you feel about me putting them out? Do you feel it's too dangerous? Because if you do, you're the owner of the farm, I will leave them in. Or do you feel it would do them good to let them out? And she said, you know what? I feel because they are who they are, they're going to be just fine going out. And I said, okay, I'm so glad you said that. But, note, I am very good at what I do. I not only checked in with Jack and then the more reliable one, William, and then I checked in with myself, and I felt inside intuitively, I had that knowing of it's okay. But then I also did a quadruple check and checked with Amanda, because it's just the responsible thing to do, and I'd rather err on the side of caution than make a ego mistake of I'm all knowing. So people wonder why I'm so successful at what I do is because of how I do things. And I always check in with myself and other people that I trust to give me feedback just in case, So with that said, I put them out and they were so happy. I said, can you both handle going out 2 at a time? Because normally I can lead them 2 at a time. And Jack just looked at me and was like, no, because he was so wired for sound. So I was like, okay, so we'll take you out 1 at a time. And they bolted off and had a grand old wonderful time. And then it came time to bring them in. And I looked around by the gate and I went, oh God, Amanda did say that she had put bales of hay by the tree line 1/2 mile away in the 150 acres. And I went, I'm in for a walk. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm dressed for it. It's okay. It's getting cold. The snowstorm was kind of closing in. And I was like, it'll be all right. I'll just go for a walk. And then I thought, wait, if I'm meant to take a walk, I'll take that walk. But let me ask them. So I closed my eyes for a split second, literally, and said, boys, it's really cold and it would be just awesome if you came down to the gate for me and helped me out. If you see me looking around, it's because I'm paying attention to multiple dogs. Sorry about that. So I literally opened my eyes and I gave them a minute to decide, how they wanted to approach coming in. And I saw way back 1/2 mile in the distance, I saw the white flash of William, and then I saw the black flash of Jack, and they galloped all the way to the gate. I mean, they galloped. They'll trot to me, they'll walk to me, but they galloped. And it's not like I thought at first, well, maybe they're just cold, so they're running because, time to come in. But then I saw William's face and he said, was this fast enough? Are you okay? I'm like, oh my God, I'm totally okay. I was like, you ran in for me because you didn't want me to get cold. And they're like, well, yeah, you're not like us. And I went, wow, how considerate. And so they both ran up to me. They both stood nice and still and I put their halters on. I said, can we walk in together? Are you guys enough, gotten your yayas out? And they said, yes. So I took them out and we walked into the barn together and I tucked them into their stalls and they got feed. And I was just so, I looked at William and I said, thank you. That was so considerate, which means really mature of you. You're 5 years old and you took me into consideration that I'm not a horse and that I have to wear multiple layers of clothing and that I have to really, I get cold unlike you guys. And it was just adorable of them to do that for me. So I did check their ears when I caught them. I took my hands out of my gloves and I checked their ears. That's my barometer for how cold they are, is if their ears get cold. And their ears were like a furnace. So my Mustangs were out in, let's say on average, 6-degree weather. And their ears were warm and they were warm and they were doing great with no blankets. And I was just so proud of them. But they were thinking of me when they came running in. And I just thought, it doesn't get any better than that, to have that kind of relationship that they think about how you're feeling and how you're doing and that your body is different from theirs. So with that, I'll cut this one short. That was just about the animals. I'll come back and talk about a little more information that I want to talk about with the Great Awakening as far as what's happening. And I'll do that in just a little bit. Give me about 20 minutes and I'll be back. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. If you need help with your animals, connectedenergyhealing.com. All right, thanks again, guys. Bye-bye.